Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I hope you're having a great day today, and I hope you're ready for this. Nez is once again snoring in the basket, probably dreaming about bunny rabbits, and we're gonna be reading horrifying stuff. Today's saga that we're gonna read is called I Denied My In-Laws Only Request for the Wedding, and now it's ruining our relationship with them. So what we're looking at today is some wedding in-law sort of drama. This one has 5 different updates, so it's definitely gonna be a roller coaster of an episode. And as always, subscribe if you want to, and let's get into this. I denied my in-laws only request for the wedding, and now it's ruining our relationship with them. I need some advice on this situation from an unbiased source. Me, 23 female, and my fiance, 27 male, are getting married in December. We got engaged in April, and I pretty much did all the planning myself, with the help from my mum in the first few weeks. From the very beginning, my fiance and I had a plan laid out for the bridal party. That was one of the first things decided since before I had the ring on my finger, including the flower girls and ring bearers. We decided that the flower girl would be my sister's, who's also my matron of honor's baby, who will be pushed in a stroller down the aisle by my 10 female cousin, who would be considered a junior bridesmaid. For the ring bearers, my fiance really wanted to include his best friend's son. For context, his friend has not had any custody of his child for most of his life. A long story, and it could be a little bit difficult to arrange his attendance. He will be around a year and a half at the time of the wedding. As a result, we decided that we would also have my 2 cousins, 5 male and 7 male, the brothers of the junior bridesmaid, be ring bearers as well. This way it's no pressure on the friend and everything will go smooth, whether his child can come or not. The older boys will help the younger boy walk down the aisle holding his hand. We decided on these specific children because they're closely related and close to us and at the right age. Shortly after the engagement, I asked my sister and my cousin, the mums of the children, if their kids could be in the wedding, and gave details of what they should wear, etc. The kids and parents both were so excited. Okay, so everything sounds good at the moment. What's gonna happen? Because I feel like this gets pretty bad. From what I could tell by just skimming over this, there was a lot of drama in this. Nez, you're so cute. Her little mouth. So adorable. Hello, Nezzy. This was great and everything was going according to plan until a few weeks ago when my mother-in-law asked if we would consider adding another flower girl. For context, my fiance's brother and best man, 24 male, lives across the country from us and has recently told us around 4 months ago that he has a new girlfriend, 21 female. This girlfriend has a child from a previous relationship, female 10 months. They have now known each other for about 7 or 8 months. He's very serious about her and we're very happy for them. He's taken a sort of father role in her daughter's life, which is adorable. He's expressing interest in marrying her in the future, but they're taking it slow. My fiance and I have never met this girlfriend or her child, but we're thrilled for his brother, so of course we invited them to the wedding. Now, this is where things get a little bit messy. I've always gotten along great with my fiance's family. They've always been so sweet and kind, accepting and well-meaning. They welcome newcomers with open arms, including me, and have really become my family. I especially had a great relationship with my mother-in-law. She's the sweetest lady and would do anything for me and any one of her children. She lives very close to us and my family lives far. She was always the first to say that it's our wedding, meaning mine and my fiance, to encourage me to make my own decisions in wedding planning and to not let my mother sway them. That's a lot different than a lot of stuff that we read about. Like so many times when we've read about a mother-in-law wearing white to the wedding, or something horrific. She has become like a mother to me in so many ways. With that being said, they're also very loving and accepting of my fiance's brother's girlfriend and her baby from afar, which is great. I'm so glad that they're so supportive. They even started calling her baby their first grandchild and flew across the country to meet them. Okay, so where is this going? What's gonna happen? Those of you who have read this saga before, you know what's gonna happen, but I have no idea where this is going. With this context in mind, a couple of weeks ago when my mother-in-law and I were hanging out, just the 2 of us, she asked me if I'd consider adding the girlfriend's baby as a flower girl. She said that fiance's brother keeps on bringing it up and that it would be really cute. I politely told her that we already had a flower girl, my niece, and a junior bridesmaid assigned to push her in a carriage. She responded by saying essentially, "What's one more? She'll probably be able to walk by herself down the aisle by then, 14 to 15 months. I kinda just said that I'd think about it with my fiance, and I changed the subject. Later on, I told my fiance about it, and we both agreed that it wasn't a good idea because number one, we already had the role filled, and it would be sort of awkward to have a baby randomly walking next to the stroller with the other baby. And number two, if she did need help walking, it wouldn't be easy for the 10-year-old to juggle 2 kids down an aisle. Number three, we've never met her, and she might not be comfortable walking down the aisle of a wedding where she knows nobody. And number four, they're not married, and worst case scenario, if they break up, she's in all the pictures. I know that sounds harsh, but I come from a family where traditionally, if you're not engaged, you don't get a +1 no matter who you are. I'm not following this rule, and everybody's significant other is invited, but that doesn't mean they get to be in the wedding. My fiance and I are on the same page about this. We agreed to keep the bridal party the way that it was. He talked to his brother and essentially told him that it was a no, and everything was fine and everybody was on the same page until the other night. Okay, so I feel like it's the mother-in-law that's the problem. I get the feeling that she's going to be the one that's pushing this. We were at mother-in-law's house again, but this time my fiance was there too. Once again, mother-in-law brings up the flower girl thing, and my fiance tells her that we already have the position filled and that's that. But then my mother-in-law tells my fiance how much it must mean to his brother since he keeps on bringing it up. This brings out the empathy in my fiance, and he starts to have an open mind about it. Meanwhile, I'm still against it, and I start to say so with some of the reasons I listed above. My mother-in-law points out that all of the children in the wedding are from my side, except one, and that their side doesn't have any representation. Meanwhile, this is because there are no children on his side. She also points out that there are 3 little boys in the wedding, and why can't there be 3 little girls? At this point, she's convinced my fiance, and I'm an island. I'm still defending my position alone. She wasn't being rude or anything, but every reason that I have, she seems to have a rebuttal. She's saying things like they'll get married one day anyways, and she's already part of the family. Then I start saying, we'll think about it. And she's like, so that sounds like a no? And then I'm like, we'll consider it. So then it was awkward, and I felt like I was about to cry, so I changed the subject. The whole time I felt like I looked like a major a-hole. It was really bad. My fiance since apologized to me for being open to the idea in front of his mother when we had decided against it. From what he believed about his mother, he figured that she would just have an open conversation with us and not try to push her way. I figured that it would not go that way. Later that night, he called his brother and told him that it was for sure no, and that we'd already asked other people. His brother was sad but understood. I felt really bad and guilty for making my fiance feel bad. In hindsight, I really should not have because of what followed afterwards. Here we go. This is where my previous post left off. A lot has happened in the last few days. Okay, so OP must have updated the same post. I was worried immediately after that conversation that his mother would tell his brother that my fiance was for it, and I was against it while we were at her place. My fiance said that he knows his mother well and that she wouldn't do that. What's the bet that's what she does? The first words out of his mouth are, after our conversation last night, I talked to mum and she said that you were wanting to have her as the flower girl and your fiance wasn't. Just as I thought would happen. And he goes on to say, as your brother, I want to make sure that you get what you want since it's your wedding. I was so pissed. My fiance told him that we would still talk about it, but that we'd already agreed not to have her as the flower girl, and that he should not have seemed so open to it last night. That whole day we discussed it. I felt like an a-hole and I was tempted to cave to keep the peace. But the only reason that my fiance was wanting it was because it meant a lot to his brother. But the conclusion that we came to was that it's not his brother's wedding. So we called him up a few hours later and told him no for the 3rd time. He was upset, but at least it was over. Or so we thought. Oh my god, we just started this and it's already so exhausting. Like, why aren't they listening to you? He texted him the next morning again expressing how hurt he was by it. But at that point we were like, the decision's made. It's our wedding, please get over it. And then my fiance's brother enlisted their mother. Oh my god. Take no for an answer. She called my fiance and basically attacks him for almost an hour on the phone. My fiance did a great job sticking up for us, good, and sticking to his guns, good. His mum went as far as to say that my relationship with his family will forever be affected by this decision. Wow. Yeah, that one hurt. And that my fiance's relationship with his brother will forever be altered. At this point, this is all going way too far. We ended up talking to my fiance's sister and found out that his brother no longer wants to be best man anymore and that neither of them want to speak to us for a while. They said that this won't be resolved until we give in. I'm at a loss for words. This doesn't even feel like a real situation, to be honest. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. We're definitely not gonna give in. At this point, all that it would tell them is that if they push hard enough, they can manipulate us. It just really hurts because we had such a great relationship before this. Yeah, and they don't need to make a big deal about this. If they could just take no for an answer, everything would be fine. The top comment says, your mother-in-law and brother-in-law are being crazy, but your fiance really messed this one up by waffling about it in front of his mother and making you look like Bridezilla. None of this would have been an issue if he didn't do that. The second top comment says, all of this for an 8-month relationship for a child that isn't even his brother's? I'm usually not a big Reddit conspiracy theorist, but your fiance needs to talk to his family to find out what's actually going on. Because this is insane levels of petty for literally nothing. You're correct in every way, and for the love of God, don't give in. But when people tell you who they are, listen to them. Because it does seem like there's some aggressive golden child syndrome with your future brother-in-law. Yeah, how sad and how infuriating. All of this drama for what? 30 or 40 seconds or however long it takes for them to walk the ring down? Who cares? Like the fact that they're willing to basically ruin everything and have the audacity to say that, oh, our relationship's gonna be forever altered if you say no, because of this one tiny aspect of the wedding. The brother-in-law and the mother-in-law are ridiculous. This is one of the more ridiculous things that we've read. It says there in the TLDR, we have never met this child or her mother, and they are demanding to be in this. This is unbelievable. Okay, so let's get into update number 1, which was 8 months ago. Wow, as a new Reddit poster, I'm absolutely shocked by how many views and comments this post got. Was not expecting for people to actually reply. Thank you for those of you that gave great advice and were trying to help the situation. Your insight really opened our eyes, mine and my fiance. A lot of you hit the nail on the head. Brother-in-law is the golden child and has always been favored greatly over my fiance by their mother. That would make a lot of sense. Brother-in-law is the youngest and his mother's been coddling him his whole life. My fiance is the oldest and tends to be the peacemaker or sacrificed. A lot of you also called out the triangulation manipulation. I told my fiance this and he said that his younger brother often would rope his mum into their arguments, get her to take his side and get my fiance in trouble. No matter how ridiculous or wrong brother was being, he mastered the art of triangulation manipulation from a young age. My fiance would just take it and apologize to keep the peace. Well, aren't they gonna be in for a shock? The fact that they're willing to do this crap when they're talking about their wedding, and also the fact that it doesn't just involve OP's fiance anymore, it's also involving OP, and they're still happy to do this manipulative crap, and the mum just going along with whatever the brother-in-law says. Oh, that's so annoying. Like, peace was never an option in this situation. They're not gonna get their way in this situation. For those of you who said it's ridiculous to not have a child that we've never met and are not related to, and have not even met her mother as such an important part of our wedding party, thank you. I was feeling like the crazy one for thinking this. Also, info, I was being gracious when I said that they've been together for 8 months. They've known each other for 8 months and they've only officially been dating for 4 months. The wedding's further away than the length of their whole relationship. It's bizarre that they're pushing so hard for this. And for those of you who said that we should have granted their request and just kept the peace, there are people in the comments saying that? Oh my god, no. That's not the answer here. You do not give in to this sort of crap. My fiance's been doing this his entire life with his family, and that's probably why they resorted to their usual manipulation tactics. He never actually wanted to have this baby in our wedding. He in fact thought it was pretty ridiculous for them to ask. He was just ready to cave because he always does to keep the family peace, at the expense of himself and his needs and wants every time. Except the difference is this time the wedding is about him. It's his day. and not his brother. Well, both of us. And that's the other thing, he has me this time to stand up for him. And what he actually wanted, I also wanted it too, which does help. But onto the update, a lot has happened. Today, my fiance went to see his dad, and then his mum. They're separated. His dad is neutral, but has been sticking up for me in the whole thing. I have a great relationship with him, and he filled us in on a lot. Here's essentially what's been happening. Turns out brother-in-law's girlfriend has more to do with this man than we thought. As some of you suggested in the comments, she's the one who's been encouraging him to push for this because it means a lot to him, and been super offended and making a big deal about us saying no. Personally, if it was me, yeah, I'd never even ask somebody if my kid could be in their wedding, even if it is family. But forcing it on strangers is wild. Yeah, 1,000,000%. My fiance found out from talking to his dad that my mother-in-law and brother-in-law are spreading a whole bunch of lies. Oh my god, get rid of them. Here's what has all unfolded. Mother-in-law's telling people I'm racist, and that's why I didn't want the baby in it. OP hasn't even met them. Apparently the baby and mother are Filipino, which I honestly didn't even know because once again, I've never met them. They live across the country. I don't even know their last name. But still, I don't care what race they are in the slightest. Yeah. And the fact that the mother-in-law is willing to lie and make up this horrible stuff about you, basically is willing to burn down the relationship because of this, I'd be cutting this mother-in-law off. The girlfriend now believes this and doesn't even want to come to the wedding anymore. Oh my god. That's her choice. Also, the wedding party is diverse ethnicity-wise, so how is it that I'm a racist, lol? Imagine having a mother-in-law going around telling people that you're racist, and it's completely lies. This is unbelievable. Brother-in-law's telling people that we're judging the girlfriend and we don't want her child in the wedding because she was born out of wedlock. Something else that OP wouldn't have even known, which is ridiculous. Two of the children who were already in the wedding were born out of wedlock, one from each side. They're just making up whatever they can. The brother-in-law and the mother-in-law are horrible. They've been talking behind our backs, gossiping, making up lies about me, assuming things about me that aren't even true. Brother-in-law's twisting and changing my fiance's words into complete lies that makes him seem like the victim. He's feeding these lies of things my fiance did not say to not only his mother but his sister and his dad. My sister-in-law and father-in-law are both neutral and they won't take sides, but they think that the whole thing is insane and they want it to end. We do too. They both say that they are doing this whole thing and they hate me for no reason. This is so much worse than I expected. The mother-in-law and the brother-in-law are poison. So today my fiance went to see his mother to essentially call her out for her behaviour. She was absolutely hysterical and was not ready to listen to reason or logic. She deflected and denied and lied about things that we knew were in fact true. She refused to take accountability for any sort of blame for the situation getting out of hand. Oh wow, that's so surprising. She just deferred back to blaming me for everything and making me the villain, and herself and her precious baby son the victim. Meanwhile, the last time I spoke to either of them was when we had that conversation with mother-in-law at her house where my fiance slipped and this whole thing started. My fiance's been handling this whole thing and even tried to shield me from the blame and take it all for himself. It's not working. Mother-in-law and brother-in-law have made this whole thing up in their heads and they've driven themselves and everybody else crazy over it. Yeah, these are not reasonable people. You cannot reason with these people. They are not reasonable. Meanwhile, all I've done is express my concerns for having a child in the wedding that we don't know in that initial conversation when they aren't engaged or married, and the fact that we already filled the roles. She denies favouring the brother-in-law and claims that she's hurt by the accusation, and then in the exact same breath favours him and defends him. I feel the worst for my fiance because he doesn't even want anything to do with them anymore and does not feel that he needs to keep up with these relationships. Yeah, and to be honest, you shouldn't have anything to do with them. If they're this toxic, you don't even want to be near them. He said that his mother expected him to fall on his face today and apologize for everything because that's what he was forced to do growing up, and that's what they're used to. But now that I'm an extension of him, he's not letting me or us get treated this way. He's angry that they're selfishly trying to use our day to make some grand gesture to his brother's girlfriend that he's been dating for 4 months, and that they refuse to respect our wishes. He's shocked and disappointed that they're lying about us and creating drama around our wedding. He's saying goodbye to this toxic cycle and gonna go no contact until they come to their senses and fix this mess. Yeah, okay, this one's gonna be a very niche reference. I don't know if you guys have played the game Slime Rancher before. It's such a cute game, but there are these slimes in Slime Rancher that are called rad slimes, and basically they're so radioactive and so toxic that if you stand too close to them, you slowly start to die. The mother-in-law and the brother-in-law are the exact same. They are so toxic that you need to be away from them. But also, I highly doubt that they're going to come to their senses. Judging from their behavior already, I don't feel like they're going to be like, oh, I am in the wrong, I'm so sorry, I shouldn't have been such a piece of garbage. They'll probably just keep lying. For those of you who asked, we are in premarital counselling with our pastor, who is also our officiant. He's also bewildered that they even requested this in the first place, and shocked and dismayed that they've turned it into such an ordeal. Anyways, this wasn't the update that we hoped for, but it's the one that we have. Hopefully one day things are going to turn around. We're hoping mother-in-law at least comes to her senses, considering that we're the only family that lives near her. Maybe she'll learn to support the son and daughter-in-law who'll one day birth the grandkids that she actually has a shot of seeing regularly, rather than blatantly favouring the son and girlfriend who live across the country. But for the time being, this is it. This is such a sad situation. And it's so shockingly common too. Like fully grown adults or parents that are so immature, so manipulative, and just so toxic. And yeah, they're literally unreasonable. And you cannot reason with the unreasonable. So a lot of the time, sadly, they never change. Yeah, like the top comment says, security at your wedding is a must. 100%. Okay, let's get into update number 2. Mini update inside the update. Hi guys, I have a small update. I decided to just be the bigger person and try to dissolve some of the tension myself. I was tired of my fiance talking to his brother and his brother twisting it, so I tracked down brother-in-law's girlfriend on Instagram and I sent her a DM. Like some of our comments suggested, thank you. I cut out the middlemen, literally. I sent her a very nice message telling her how excited we are to meet her and her daughter. I explained from my point of view in detail everything that went into the original decision of the flower girl and cleared up all the miscommunications, her boyfriend's assumptions and twists of my fiance's words, but I didn't say that, lol. Surprisingly, she was very kind and appreciative. Her message back was very mature, gracious and understanding. Me and her are 100% good and she and her baby are very excited to come to the wedding. Honestly, it could not have gone better. Now, for what everybody's wondering about, we're still low contact with mother-in-law and brother-in-law. My fiance is not ready to talk to either of them. Brother-in-law has not tried to reach out. That night, after mother-in-law had that horrible conversation with my fiance, she found out that sister-in-law was coming to my first dress fitting the next day, and she wasn't invited. She asked her sister-in-law to call us and ask if she could come to it. We told her there would be others. I wouldn't really be able to enjoy the day with all the tension. The next day, I had a great time with my sister-in-law, and did not mention the topic or situation even once, because I knew that she was forced to hear about it from both her mum and my fiance. Mother-in-law reached out to both me and my fiance and asked to talk to both of us in person. My fiance told her that he was not ready to talk to her yet after how their conversation went the day before. The timing of it tells me that she definitely sees that if she doesn't make this right, she will be left out of all the wedding stuff. Not only that, but all the life stuff that we're doing. For example, we just put an offer on a house. I'm holding out hope that our relationship with her will be mended one day soon. I'm hoping that his brother also comes around now that we've explained everything to his girlfriend. My fiance has expressed that they need to apologize before we can move forward. Not too much of an update, but just wanted to keep you guys in the loop. Thank you for reading and following along with this madness. Okay, let's get straight into update number 3. Update inside the update. Brother-in-law's girlfriend broke up with him. There you go. I don't know all the details, but brother-in-law told my sister-in-law, who told my fiance this morning. Apparently she said that she couldn't deal with the toxicity and drama of his family. Trust me, girl, I get that. But my fiance is super upset because he thinks that she means us, as in me and him. I said after our messages the other day she probably means mother-in-law, but my fiance is convinced that from her perspective, he and I are the toxic ones creating drama. I don't know, that's debatable, I guess. Well, she was in a relationship with the brother-in-law, and we've seen how toxic the brother-in-law can be, and how toxic the mother can be. So I feel like it's to do with the brother. Either way, he feels super guilty and now just wants to fix everything with his family. I'm convinced that if anything, my text to her showed her how crazy he made this whole situation, and it probably illuminated some issues. Yeah, with the brother-in-law, 100%. But it's hard to say, I don't know her or their relationship. At this point, I'm speculating, but I'm sure that there were other issues with them. Nobody breaks up with somebody they're truly in love with just because of their family. There has to be something else. Let me update you on the mother-in-law. Mother-in-law called my fiance the other day, before the breakup and stuff which we all just found out about this morning, and told him, maybe it's good that this all happened. Now you're going to therapy to work on yourself and her, my mother, is being super supportive. We did not appreciate that. That felt super condescending. But anyways, he called her this morning after all of this and she said that she was trying to see us so that she could apologize to us. I will move on from this, but always watch my back. Things can be cordial again though. I'll keep you guys updated as things progress. Yeah, I don't know about accepting the mother-in-law's apology if she even gives one. The top comment says, based on your post, it would seem the girlfriend ended the relationship over the brother-in-law and mother-in-law drama. Yeah, but I'm sure mother-in-law will twist it. Stand your ground. If your fiance doesn't stand with you, that's a huge red flag. And the second top comment says, nobody breaks up with someone they're truly in love with just because of their family. Oh my sweet summer child. This is the mother-in-law that went around telling everybody that you're a racist and made up a whole bunch of lies and tried to manipulate you over and over again. I highly doubt that the mother-in-law's gonna give a genuine apology at all. I'm a little bit nervous about this one. Okay, let's get into update number 4. This is more of a mini update, no huge news. My fiance called his brother that night after the breakup to console him like a good brother. They had a long conversation where brother-in-law talked about the breakup. At the end of the conversation, as it was leading into it, my fiance said something like, hey man, I want to move on from this, but in order to do that, you have to apologize to her, as in me. And brother-in-law flipped out. He started blaming me for the whole situation. Everything, and I mean everything. There you go. And saying that I should have reached out to him and not his girlfriend. My fiance told him that I did not have to reach out to anybody, but I reached out to her to be nice and clear up all the lies that he, brother-in-law, told about us, so that she would feel comfortable coming to the wedding and being around the family. He also said that brother-in-law was the one ruining my day, and that in no world should I be seeking him out to apologize for anything. My fiance really is the best. Brother-in-law did not take this conversation well and refused to take any accountability. Oh wow, what a shock. So my fiance is questioning whether or not to even have him as a groomsman at this point. He's for sure not the best man. He asked somebody else since everything has unfolded. My fiance doesn't think they'll ever be able to have a relationship. Not if he can't take accountability for his actions. He won't ever change. Update on mother-in-law. She begged us to come over so that she could apologize to me. I was skeptical because of the timing. In the past few weeks we haven't been talking. I picked up my dress and we bought our first house, and we have been hanging out with sister-in-law and father-in-law all without her. I suspected that it was because she didn't want to miss out on our lives anymore, so she was just gonna say whatever she had to. She did apologize, but it was vague and more of an I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings, and didn't go into any specifics. At this point, I was just willing to be civil and move past it for the sake of my fiance. I could tell how much it bothered him to be on the outs with his family, so I made peace. I still don't trust her and will be moving different from now on, but we're civil. Sister-in-law called us the other day and told us that brother-in-law twisted all of my fiance's words on that singular phone call and is spreading it to the whole family, trying to make everybody hate him again and make himself the victim. Cut that brother-in-law off immediately. Absolutely toxic. Yeah, surprise, surprise. Also, apparently he got back together with the girlfriend. We'll see how long it lasts considering they've already broken up once. They are invited to the wedding assuming that they're still together, because at this point I like the girlfriend a lot more than brother-in-law after my DM with her, but they will not be in any photos. Side note that I thought was kind of funny, as of today mother-in-law made a picture of brother-in-law, girlfriend and baby. Just the three of them, not including mother-in-law, her profile picture on Facebook. The favoritism runs deep in this family, unfortunately. That's all for now. Thank you for following along. Wow, okay, so yeah, the brother-in-law keeps on doing the same stuff, and he should not be invited to your wedding at all. Same with the mother-in-law. Yeah, the top comment. So brother-in-law's still a mess and mother-in-law's just biding her time until she's back on her BS. 100%. They're no different than they've ever been. Okay, let's read the final update, guys. Update 5, final update. Many of you were asking for an update after the wedding, so here we are. First and foremost, I want to say that our wedding was the perfect day and everything went smooth. There was no drama on the actual day. That's good. There has, however, been a lot of drama with my in-laws in the past 5 months. If you'd like to hear about all that, read on. It might be a long one. A lot of time went by of me just being cordial and not being emotionally attached in any way to my in-laws. I got in a fight with his mother at one point when she started blaming us for his brother's breakup and insisting my fiance reaches out to his brother to apologize. Oh my god. I can't stand this mum and the brother-in-law and I don't even know them. Like, oh, of course we need to blame someone else for his actions. They blame anybody but themselves. It's so exhausting and it's not gonna change. They haven't changed even a little bit in this entire saga. This brought up the issue again and I explained how it was a super unreasonable request on their part for them to ask us to have her in the wedding in the first place, that is. Mother-in-law continued to say that she would do anything for her family. Yeah, anything for your golden child. Even lie and manipulate and blame everybody else. I guess your family just isn't like that. And I guess we were just raised differently. Voices were raised and I stormed out. My fiance was upset because he hates that she's treating me like this and that we aren't getting along. I decided that I would rather be the bigger person and fall on my sword than see my fiance upset and prolong the no contact with his family. So I go back and apologize for my part, raising my voice. She does not apologize for hers. Instead, she simply reiterates that she just has to come to terms with the fact that we were raised differently and that my family is obviously different than hers. What, is that meant to be an insult? It was at this moment that I kind of realized that we'd never be able to truly repair all of the damages. I'll probably always have a nice cordial surface level relationship with her. My fiance, however, called her out and was very upset that she did that. Her response to me was, "I'm sorry I brought up that issue in front of you. I should have talked to my son privately." Essentially saying, sorry, I didn't realize that I wouldn't be able to manipulate him with you there. It's much easier for me to get my way when it's just him. At this point, I'm like, girl, whatever. A few weeks later, my fiance and his brother work things out between them, and they figure out that their mum was the one fueling the fire and making the flower girl thing into a massive deal. Brother-in-law says he wants to call me and talk to fix our relationship, but he never does. Life gets busy, whatever. Fast forward a few months and his brother, the girlfriend, and the baby come to visit. We finally get to meet them. His parents are all excited and buy a bunch of stuff for the first grandchild, and their visit goes well. Nobody talked about the issue ever again. We made an effort to make the girlfriend feel comfortable. The baby was cute and all was good. I was cordial and kind per usual. Now, into the wedding planning issues. Some context, I would say that I was a very chill bride. All of my bridesmaids were very appreciative of my laid-back wedding planning style. I let them choose any dress they wanted as long as it was black and long. This means any style, any fabric, any price range, any brand. I wanted all the girls to have a dress that they would feel great in and wear again. I also did not have a head table and I let all the bridesmaids sit with their dates. Speaking of dates, as I said before, typical wedding rules is no ring, no bring. We did not do this. We let everybody bring their significant other. I also had an extremely chill bachelorette. It was not a trip, it was just a day of inexpensive activities 2 days before the wedding. Most brides make everybody travel somewhere for a weekend. With all this being said, the only 2 things I asked of my bridesmaids were number 1, no heels, and that was because we got married in the grass and they would have sunk in. And number 2, hair down. This was to have some uniformity since the dresses were also different. Also because it was a morning wedding and we were on a tight timeline. Note, I also put on the wedding website no white because around here people wear white to weddings a lot and my family would have totally made it a big deal. There have been many jokes about if anybody wears white, we're spilling red wine on them. So I put it on the website to avoid the hullabaloo. When my mother-in-law found out that I was controlling these things, she freaked out and basically told the whole family that I was a bridezilla and that I'm controlling. Oh my god. She also kept on texting me and my fiance in group chats and asking silly questions like, this person wants to know if they can have white nail polish, and can I wear a shawl or is that not allowed? Oh, she's so toxic. And I genuinely didn't know if she was being serious or trying to poke fun. Of course she's not being serious. She's being toxic. When my fiance caught wind of this, he joined a call where mother-in-law and brother-in-law talked shit about me, about how I was being controlling with the wedding details. He went off on them and basically explained how lenient I was being on most things. When his mum asked him a stupid question, he went off on it and said, why don't you call my fiance and ask her? Quit going around her and talking to me, or only talking to her in group chats. You put effort in and talk to brother-in-law's girlfriend all the time and have a great relationship with her. Put some effort in with my fiance. His brother did not want to hear the conversation anymore and ended the call. This hung up the entire call. His mother then called me. Mind you, I did not know about this conversation yet, so I had a pleasant conversation with her for almost an hour about all kinds of things. She then calls back my fiance and apologizes profusely for everything. She says that she doesn't know what's wrong with her or why she did any of that, and that he was right. She said that she regretted everything that she's done to me and misses the relationship that we had before. Since then, things have been better. She texted me asking to do a girls' day when we got back from our honeymoon. I honestly appreciate the effort and I'm willing to give her another chance. I think she truly learned her place at this point. No, she has not. I'm sorry, but I don't believe the mother-in-law's crap for a second. Fast forward to the wedding, it was a perfect day. My fiance's reaction watching me come down the aisle was the most beautiful moment. He broke down bawling. This made half of the people at the wedding cry, especially me, his parents too. I think it was at this point that they realized just how much we love each other and how much I meant to him. They seem genuinely happy for us and things are a lot better. Brother-in-law has also been a lot better and making an effort towards us, so all is good in regards to our relationship with his family. Hopefully this lasts. One last detail people would probably like to know, I originally was against having brother-in-law's girlfriend and baby in the wedding pictures, but I let my husband decide because it's his family. He originally was going to have them in just one, but his brother wanted them in both and his mum convinced my husband to let them be in both because it would be too awkward to have them get out of the photo. Nobody actually told me this and I found out when they were actively in the photos. This wouldn't have mattered too much, but they ended up breaking up very dramatically less than a week later. So if anybody knows how to Photoshop people out of wedding photos, let me know. And that's the end of the saga. Oh my god. The top comment, this all sounds so exhausting. Yeah. I don't know if OP's gonna make an update one day. There might be an update in the future. Because there's definitely gonna be more drama. If the mother-in-law and the brother-in-law are still in the picture, there's always gonna be drama. This comment says exhausting, fake and controlling for all involved. Let's see if there'll be a part 6 to this. Some people just like drama in everything. This comment says, hun, the only thing your mother-in-law learned is that she has to play nice if she wants a snowball's chance of ever manipulating you again. She's still a selfish, manipulative witch. She's just put her mask back on because she knows that you won't fold when she shows her true colors. Watch your back and don't get too close. Congratulations on the wedding though, OP. Like at least there was no drama on the wedding day. That's good. Yeah, this isn't really the ending that I expected. I thought there were definitely going to be no contact with the mother-in-law and the brother-in-law. Because yeah, I feel like there's going to keep being drama if they're in the picture. But yeah, that's all we know. So all the best to OP and OP's partner. What an unbelievable episode. Time to read something wholesome. When you have that one special friend that lights up your life. Oh, that's so beautiful, yeah. And also, not only is that such a cute little duck, but that is such a cute cat. That's so beautiful. Nez, look at this cute little kitty. She's too busy sleeping. Thank you for watching today's episode, everybody. I hope you had a great time. I feel a little bit weird because there's no real ending to this saga. There'll probably be like more updates in the future where I'm sure there'll be more drama. But yeah, hopefully things get better for OP and OP's partner's sake. Like they went around and told people that you were a racist and just made up stuff to make you look bad. On top of all the other stuff. That's so bad. But yeah, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want to, guys. And the comment of the day today goes to Brass Buckles. That's a cool username. Headcanon. When Vincey skips a day without posting, it's because there's no cat in the basket. We actually owe these videos' existence to Nez and Jin, who are the masterminds behind the channel. Oh my god, yeah, for sure. I'm not even speaking at the moment. Nez is speaking. She just uses me as like a puppet on a string. No, I am a real person, but that would be so funny. The cats really do help me make better videos though. So yeah, they kind of are the masterminds behind the channel. That is so cute. Okay, I'm out of here. Make sure you look after yourself, everybody, and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!